Okay, we have been submitting a case. Happy New Year to everyone. We've been submitted a case to take a look at the feasibility for immediate placement. The note says, I have this case and wanted to know if it would be better to extract and bone graft and then implant place after healing, or can we do it in a single visit? The scan shows a perforation of the buccal plate. So I would like to address several different things here from a perspective. One is I'm very happy that we saw that there is a perforation of the buccal plate in this particular case. Oftentimes, when we look at it from this single view right here, we can see that the plate is actually intact. However, one of the things that we always go over in a workshop is using what I call the 360 view here, which is using this slider to slide around the tooth. And what you'll actually see here as we go around right there, we can see that our buccal plate is actually perforated. And there's question whether or not we'll actually have any of this buccal plate through the tooth extraction process. The other manner in which I look for the buccal plate perforation is, let me get rid of the CAD/CAM data, try to make everything a little bit cleaner here, is we can come here and look through the volume, and now as we're moving up, so this way we can see here's the orange line that represents where along the volume that we're at. We can see where our buccal plate goes away. Now as we move apical, we see buccal plate, and now it's starting to disappear. It's certainly not there, and right here we can definitively see a break in that buccal plate. So a break in the buccal plate, a single dehiscence here near the root apex, doesn't necessarily mean that you can't place the implant. Certainly we can place the implant, flap, graft that area, and put it all together. Now if the entire buccal plate were missing, that would certainly be a significantly more risky procedure. And then the other thing to take consideration is how much bone we have. We have to gain stability. And that's where this becomes a little bit more difficult, in the sense that to gain stability on this implant, as we have it here, stability is not going to be quite easy. We can take a closer look here. I'm also a little concerned about the thinness of our lingual plate here. My belief is that this implant may be a little too close to the lingual plate. So let me switch to my secondary plan here. So I would probably want to move this like so to have enough space. And then we come into the buccal cusp here. So now we're going to have to possibly tilt this implant like so. Okay. So now, and then we still don't necessarily have enough stability, so we'll want to go a little bit longer, and now we're really getting into thinning out the plate here, coming through the plate. We're also coming through the buccal cusp. Again, that can be corrected with a custom abutment, but it's not ideal. So the more we look at this case, not just because of the small perforation in the buccal plate, but the more we look at this case, the more predictable it becomes by following a traditional approach. And in this particular case, the traditional approach would be to take out the tooth, okay, and then as we're taking out the tooth, go ahead and fill the socket, and go ahead and also graft this area right here. So what that'll do is leave us, in an ideal world, leave us with a ridge that looks like this. And now we can come back afterwards and place a more ideal placed implant with the apex coming up that way, so that we can get a more centered implant placement. The other point I wanted to bring up here is, if we take a look here at our occlusal plane, we can see that our occlusal plane is actually tilted down like this. Again, I don't know if that has to be that way. Also, we can see the center of the buccal cusp is right here, so we're coming very quite mesially here. So if we come and take a look, like so, and our axial view we can see there. So now the next question will be is if we went ahead and put our sleeve in here, and that's why I want us to always check with the sleeve. We can see that our sleeve is quite a bit going to the mesial. And let me just see here on the original plan, because I made a couple of minor corrections to this as well. It's a little better centered. So let's take a look at our occlusal plane here, but still we see our occlusal plane going like so. So what I would want to do in this particular case is go ahead and see if I could get this a little bit more corrected. And that looks like a slightly better occlusal plane. Again, we have to make sure that we're not too close to the root, which we're okay right there. Oh, certainly okay right there. But now we have a sleeve issue, okay, and a restorative issue. So then maybe I will just go like that. And now that is slightly better positioning plan with some compromise. So hopefully this all makes sense in terms of what we're looking at and doing here. So we can see here that we're able to achieve our plan and maintain a screw-retained access, get a better occlusal plane than we had before, but still, no matter what, our plan, ideally our implant would go something like that. And to achieve that, we're going to need to graft this area. So I would extract, graft the dehiscence, graft the socket, and graft up here in the buccal area to gain some buccal width. Thank you very much, and hopefully this has been helpful.